What's your favorite scary movie?
Little Paul of Horrors.
Welcome back to Little Paula Horrors. I am Little Paul, and this is Little Paula Horrors. Thank you for coming to my channel. Thank you for visiting my channel. And welcome or welcome back to those people who have been here before and to those people who are new here as well. So, welcome to my channel. And today I'm going to be talking about one of the best movies, or if not for me, the best horror movie ever made. It has everything. It has suspense, it has humor, it has a great story, it has a whodunit, and it has a psychotic killer running around slashing people to bits. So let's get started. The movie that I'm going to talk today about is Scream, the classic movie from 1996, directed by the master himself, Wes Craven. So let's get into this of how it began. It began with a man by the name of Kevin Williamson, a writer who decided that he was going to write a script that had satirical references towards certain movies, such as Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, the original Halloween. And when he developed this script that had these satirical references, he also did some research on serial killers. So he mixed it all up, he wrote this all in, and he developed this movie called Scary Movie. Now, Scary Movie itself started to catch, the attention of the Hollywood grapevine. Certain production companies were interested in this movie because they were hearing that this is kind of an original movie. It has a great take on horror movies. Now, you have to understand that back in the late 80s and early 90s, the horror movies that were coming out and I guess you would say the reputation of horror movies was not very good. They had lost, validity, I guess you could say. They weren't being looked at they weren't looked at seriously. They were kind of looked at as a joke. So when this script was written and it started to catch the ear and the buzz of certain producers and production companies within Hollywood, they said, there's something about this. Let's dive a little bit into it and see what we could see and get more information about this. So there were companies such as Universal Pictures, there were companies such as Paramount Pictures, there were companies such as Morgan Creek Entertainment, and even Oliver Stone that were interested in this script. But the actual script finally went to Miramax Dimension Films, and they paid $400 to $500,000 for this script back in 1995/96, and in today's market, it will come out to $1 million. So for Mr. Kevin Williamson, who actually wrote his first script and sold his first script to have it for $1 million, to get $1 million for this script? Well, I'm sorry, I was checking my microphone just to be sure that it was on, because I didn't want to make this point without you hearing it. That's a really good profit for a script, don't you think? I think so. $1 million? Very nice. Yes, it is. So from there, they had the production company, they had the script, but now they needed a director. So this script was given to certain directors like Robert Rodriguez, also to George A. Romero, to Quentin Tarantino, and to also Sam Raimi, who directed the original Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire. But when these directors read this script, they all thought it was a satire. Now, I want to make this abundantly clear. This movie, this script was not a satire. It was, and it is, a horror movie. It has satirical references in it, in the movie and in the actual script, but it was not a satirical movie. It wasn't a satire movie. It was a horror movie. So, again, make that abundantly clear. It was not in any which way, shape, or form a satire movie. It is a slasher horror movie. So, from there, we have now the script, and we have the production company, and we have the director. So now we have to get the cast. And that is a difficult thing to do. It's not easy to get a good cast together that will work together and will create magic. But this cast did. It created a fantastic, fantastic movie. So we have Nev Campbell playing Sidney Prescott. We have Rose McGowan playing Tatum Riley. We have David Arquette playing Dewey Riley. We have Courtney Cox as Gail Weathers. We have Skeet Ulrich as Billy Loomis. We have Matthew Lillard as Stu Macher. We have Jamie Kennedy as Randy Meeks. We have Liv Schreiber as Cotton Weary. And we also have the woman herself, Drew Barrymore, who plays Casey Becker. So we got this, and they got this amazing cast that had this great synergism within themselves, like within the cast. They acted very well. They had a good chemistry. And when you have a solid script as Scream, it just rolls off. It just had such a great fluidity. The actors worked tirelessly, and they also worked with this professionalism and knowing that this script was something special. And it did turn out to be that way. Now, let's get into the little bit of the difficulties and the issues, we'll say. The issues that this great movie had. Now, all movies have issues. So whenever you're going to make a movie, you're going to have issues. So any movie ranging from drama to horror to science fiction to action, they're always going to run into issues. So there were three main issues with regards to this movie. The first issue was that there was too much gore. And the producers and the production company were saying, there's just too much gore, which ties into the second issue, which I will get to in a moment. Now, my reaction to this was, okay, I thought about it. And I said, it's a horror movie. It's a slasher horror movie. There is going to be gore in this movie. There is going to be guts and violence in this movie. You're not going to have the victim sitting at a table with the killer playing a friendly game of Monopoly or Canasta. No, you're going to be watching people getting hacked to pieces. The killer is not going to tap them on the shoulder and say, "Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, madam. I know that I'm a psychotic killer and I have a big butcher's knife in my hand and I'm going to cut you and make you bleed, but I'm going to murder you, but I hope that there's not going to be that much blood." No, it doesn't work that way. That's what I call a reasoning. What's that reasoning? Oh, yes, I know. It's not like that. It's a horror movie. People are going to get dismembered. People are going to get killed because that's the reason behind a slasher movie. There's gore, people dying, and people getting cut up to pieces in a violent manner. It is a horror movie. So there we go. So that ties into the second reason. They were saying that if you don't cut out these scenes that make it too violent and too gory for the slasher movie, we're going to give it an NC-17 rating. Now, an NC-17 rating, what does that mean? It means that only people below people who are below the age of 17 cannot go and watch this movie. So you need to cut some scenes out of this. So they sat down, the producers, the production company, along with Kevin Williamson and with the director Wes Craven, and they said, please cut out some parts because we would like to give it an R rating. So when they did, they cut out 9 scenes, but it still kept the fluidity going in the movie. Yes, 9 scenes are a lot, but it still held on to the gore and it still held on to how frightening and scary and bloody it was. So they cut out 9 scenes and they got their R rating. Now, the third part of that was that the release date on this was, well, during a time where people might not want to watch a horror movie. December 20th, 1996. That's when this movie was slated to be released. And the production company and the producers were a little bit hesitant because they were saying, a movie around Christmas time, a horror movie around Christmas time? Is it really going to do that well? Should we really roll the dice? Well, they did roll the dice, and it was a great decision that they made because that movie that took $14 to $15 million to produce and was released on December 20th, 1996 during the holidays made a whopping $173 million at the box office, which in today's conversion would be $30 million to produce and a box office return of $346 million. So that means that it did really, really well. Now, let's get back into some other fun facts. Roger L. Jackson. Do you know who he is? I don't think you do, or maybe you do. I don't know. I'll tell you who he is. Roger L. Jackson is the voice of Ghostface. And Roger L. Jackson, by the producers and by the company itself, they were thinking that they wanted to dub over his voice with another actor. But Mr. Wes Craven walked in and said, no, I want his voice. His voice will not be changed. He held on to his guns. He was determined that Roger L. Jackson was going to be the voice of Ghostface. And as you heard at the beginning of this clip, that voice itself is terrifying and has become the staple and has become synonymous with this movie. So Roger L. Jackson kept it. It kept his part in the movie, and he was in all of the rest of the movies. And I don't think that there's not one person out there who has not been fooled or scared by a prank that one of their friends committed to them. Right, Sam? Anyway, so from there, we have to talk about the actual face, the actual ghost face, the actual costume. And the costume itself was made actually in 1991 by a company called Funworld, parentheses, Fantastic Faces. So in 1991, they actually made the whole costume and the ghost face, and they even called it Ghostface. And what happened was that, well, when in 1995, 1996 rolled around and the company and the producers were looking for a costume, they found that costume and they said, we want to use this costume. So that is how that costume became synonymous and became, the face of the movie. Pardon the pun. So Ghostface became the face of the movie, and to this day holds the record of the most popular Halloween costume, mask, and costume that people wear ever up until this day. So a shout out to Funworld. So from that, the movie itself just broke all boundaries. It just smashed right through everything. What did it do? It revitalized, it re-energized the horror movie genre. You had a movie that was funny. You had a movie that was scary. You had a movie that was gory. You had a great story to it, a whodunit, a movie where you were thinking and people kept on thinking, who is it? Who is the murderer? Who is doing all of this killing, right? And the chemistry and the chemistry between the actors, the acting itself, the directing, the lighting, the musical score, the jump scares. I can keep on going on. I think you know where I'm going with this. This movie is, from my point of view, excellent, 100% fantastic, great, and amazing. This is the perfect horror movie. And you know why? Because after that horror movie came out in 1996, it spawned a reaction from other production companies to make movies similar to that, such as I Know What You Did Last Summer, Cherry Falls. Even Bride of Chucky was influenced by this movie, and Halloween H2O. And back in 2017, a really, really, really great movie by the title of Get Out was made. And the director of that movie, Mr. Jordan Peele, was stated that he was influenced by Scream. So think about that. 20 years later, after this movie came out, an individual, a director, an up-and-coming director, was influenced by this movie. This movie was like a phoenix. It basically rose out of the ashes and it revitalized the horror genre. And from there, we know everything else that happened. It spawned, including the seventh one, which I threw a YouTube short out, showing how excited and how happy I was to know that the original OG herself, Neve Campbell, had signed on the dotted line to come back to do Scream 7. And this time, Scream 7 is going to be directed by the original writer of the first Scream, Kevin Williamson. So we have that to look forward to. So I just cannot wait until this movie comes out. And I am cheering for you, Neve Campbell. I love her. She was fantastic in all the Screams that I've seen her in. And I hope and I know that she's going to do a fantastic job with this new movie that will be coming out. When it will be coming out, further information will be coming through the grapevine, but when I will find out, you guys will find out as well. So thank you for watching, and tell me, what did you think about this movie? What did you think about my review? Not the movie, but hey, yeah, what did you think about the movie as well? Leave a comment below. Tell me what you think about my opinion, my viewpoint on this movie. Like, subscribe, and share this channel. Allow it to grow. Help me grow this channel so that I could be there and give you all the viewpoints and information about things that are upcoming, and my viewpoints about classic horror movies and movies also that are not so very classic. I think you know the ones that I've spoken about before. Yeah, they're not classics, but this one is a classic. So again, thank you for coming to my channel. Please leave a comment down below. Did you agree with what I said? Did you not agree with what I said? Thumbs up, thumbs down, subscribe, share, and like, as I said before. Let them know I'm out there. Me, Little Paul, I'm here for you. So until next time, enjoy the show.